All right, so in this demonstration, we're going to be taking a look at how to draw a multi-view sketch. So in a multi-view sketch, you're going to start with an isometric, and you're going to be able to create separate 2D drawings of the front, top, and right sides of an object. So this is a necessary skill because if you're going to make an object, this is the kind of sketch you're going to need. It's going to have all the measurements on it so that you can create the product. So that being said, let's move on then and take a look at the object we're going to be doing for our first example. Okay. Actually, before we get to that part, let's talk about the order of activities we're going to do. So step one, we're going to create an isometric sketch. We're going to go over that in just a minute. Then next, we're going to use that isometric sketch to draw 3 separate 2D drawings of the object, as seen from the front, as seen from the top, and as seen from the right side. Okay. By the way, it is very likely that a bell is going to ring during this video. I can't just stop the video to allow that bell to ring and then resume. I just got to roll right through it. So just fair warning that in about 12 minutes or so, a bell might ring. So please ignore that, obviously, as we move into this process. Okay, so that being said, this is our object that we're going to draw. Okay. So this is an object that is a simple object made out of plastic grid squares, or plastic blocks, I should say. I got that confused with the grid squares that are going to be on your paper here in a couple minutes. So we're going to be using a scale of 1 plastic block equals 2 paper grid squares on your isometric paper. Okay. So if I take a look at this top view, I can see that it is 1 block. So we're going to be creating that 2 grid spaces on the paper. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bundle that I took on the way into class. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so here's my bundle. I'm going to take the isometric sheet. Remember that the isometric sheet, at least at first, looks like a bunch of triangles. Okay. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint real quick. So again, I'm going to start with the top side of the object. Note that the top side of the object is 1 block. So 1 block is 2 grid spaces on the paper. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start kind of in the top left corner. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm eventually going to be cutting this thing out. So I don't want to waste a whole bunch of paper. I want to start up at the top left corner. All right. So I'm going to be drawing a square that is 2 grid spaces in each direction. So I'm going to start maybe right about here-ish. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start here to go 1, 2. I'm going to go 2 grid spaces like that. And right on cue, that marker decided it was going to be dried out. Let me grab a different one. All right. 2 grid spaces like that. Okay. Then I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go 2 grid spaces in this direction. All right. I'm going to do the same thing over here. All right. And then all I got to do is connect this up right here like this. All right. So right now, this is what your drawing should look like. You should have a 2 by 2 flat square like what you see there. All right. Yeah, now let's go back to the image. All right. And I'm going to try to change the pointer color so that way it's hopefully a little easier to see. Okay. Now the next part you're going to see right here is this is going to be 2 plastic blocks tall. 1, 2. So it's going to have a height of 4 grid squares on the paper. All right, so let me go back here to this. Okay. So I'm going to start right here at this corner. I'm going to be going 4 blocks straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to come straight down 4 grid spaces. Okay. So now I have this part of the object done. Let's go back to the isometric. All right. so now I'm going to be moving over to this side of the object. I can see that it is one plastic block wide, and it is 2 plastic blocks long. So that's going to be 2 grid squares this way on the paper and 4 grid squares this way on the paper. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the paper here. All right. So what I'm going to do here is start in this corner, and we are going to go 2 grid spaces this way. 1, 2. Like that. Okay. Now I have to go in there and do the sides. So the sides are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 grid spaces long. So let me go in there and do that. Okay, that's 4 grid spaces long. And as you can start to see, I'm beginning to form the outline of a rectangle here. Okay, so I'm going to try to finish that up. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the object and take a good look at it. Okay. Now the last part is this entire block assembly is 1 plastic block tall, which is going to be 2 grid spaces on your paper. Okay. So I'm very simply going to go through these corners, that corner, that corner, that corner. I'm going to draw straight lines sticking down 2 grid spaces. Okay. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. And then 2 grid spaces right there at this corner. All right. Now hopefully you can clearly see that I have the basis for the outline for the bottom of the shape. Okay. Okay. Now all I got to do is I just got to draw this line right here to simulate that part of the object. So I'm just going to start from here. I'm going to draw all the way down until I touch that other piece. All right, and there you have it. There's the isometric sketch of the object. So I'm going to go ahead and chop the video here. So what you're going to do is proceed to the next video where I'm going to get into how to create the front, top, and right side images.